Hi there, it's Phil from parkerlings.com. I hope we find you well. Or well, I say we, I mean I hope I find you well, because as the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed already, red blanket background, couch background with cushion. That's about it. The reason for that is that Sandy's already gone to the States and I'm here on my own. So I've got the house to myself, which, to be honest with you, is extremely boring. Because obviously there's no Sandy here, and also there are no Anna and Elsa dogs here. They've actually gone already as well. So Sandy flew out on the 5th of April and obviously met up with family there. And Anna and Elsa left us from my parents' house, which is where I should have been staying at the time, but clearly I'm in Slough, or not. They were picked up on the 5th. They had kennels overnight, which is their first time in a kennel. Apparently they behaved really well and really relaxed. So it was a worry of mine, because they've never really been anywhere other than with us and my parents. So that was an interesting thought. And in fact, I'll just put a little bit of a video here now to show you them being loaded onto the van and see what you think. They're actually loaded with a cat.
Cats, they're absolutely everywhere.
Exactly. I'm just turning their heads thinking, what's going on here? I can't see a cat, but I can hear one.
So there you go. You can see I was fairly amused by that. But yes, so as I said, they stayed overnight. They flew out and they were delivered to Sandy. And everything went well, so they're happy there. Obviously they're finding lots of things to chase. There's squirrels all over the place because there's so many trees, so the amount of times they've probably gone squirrel. It's quite amusing. We also have a very long leash for them, extremely long, so that can get tied around a tree and they can run around to their heart's content as well, more in the open. So I have seen that. I've seen videos of it now, and they really are enjoying themselves. So yeah, that's all good.
Suddenly the girls can run at their leisure. Treat! Good girls. Did you have a good run? There you go. Good girls. Good come. Good girl.
Well, on that though, so Sandy's over there. I'm still here, and the reason I'm still here is that the buyer still hasn't signed the final paperwork yet. They're really dragging their heels, something chronic. So we'll find that we're contacting our solicitor constantly, who have no real update for us, because they're contacting their solicitor, who's supposed to be dealing with the buyer, but I don't know what they're doing. It's been a couple of weeks from them now since the last time we had any form of real update, and even that was us answering questions to them, of which half of them were silly questions, mind you. Kind of things such as, well, why isn't the front of your house pointing that road rather than that road, and there's no entry to the back of the house? Well, it's because that's the way it was built. I think that's the way they did it. Yeah. But loads of other questions which had a need for silly answers, but we tried to be as polite as possible. So that was a struggle. Yeah, so now we're still waiting for that, and hopefully with a solicitor they'll be able to get it sorted quickly now, but we'll see what happens. So no real update on that. And talking about no real update, my visa. Now, we applied for the visa in July of 2021. It is now April, almost the end. It's now the 27th of April, and still nothing. We chased them the first time we could, which was February of this year, and our application then went from sort of pending to in progress or processing, yeah, that's a couple of months now, so we've had absolutely nothing in that time period. Sandy has someone in the States who she's trying to get to try and fast track it a little bit, and we're still waiting for that to happen. Apparently it's about a month waiting time for even the fast track to go through, so well, just have to be patient and basically just have to trust that it will be sorted out. And of course, this part is actually just the application to apply for a visa. So it's not actually getting the visa itself, although there's no reason really why I shouldn't, because at the end of the day, it's hardly a marriage of convenience. It's not being married for 4 months and then applying. It's a case of, this is my 22nd year of marriage now. We were married for 22 years in September last year. So yeah, it's not just a quick turnaround. Yeah, so we have no update on that at all. And as I say, it's an application to apply. So I still need to have my full police checks done. I need to have a full health once over, and also need to have the horrible thought of an interview at the US Embassy. So that's going to be very weird. But I do have a suit, I've got a shirt, and I borrowed a tie from my dad because all of my ties have gone and shipped over to the States. Or, in fact, actually, there's another thing for you. I don't have the shipment to the States. Basically, there was an issue with our stuff going out because of a lack of ships. Apparently, in America, they were shipping more than usual, which meant that we didn't have access to the ships properly. So that means we had a delay of a few weeks. But then 2 days ago, we ended up getting an update again saying that there's not enough tugboats. It's strange, really, because they don't have to tug very far. Yeah, apparently there's no tugboat, so it's delayed by another 3 weeks potentially. So the likelihood is now, rather than arriving at the beginning of April, we're more looking at May/June. Now, it doesn't matter so much with the gardening stuff, as even though I should be there, I'm not, so I can't use it anyway. The fabrics and the ribbons and all of the tools and stuff like that that Sandy uses, or used to use in her office of many drawers, with much in them, they're not there, so Sandy can't make her things, as, you know, she can't make the stuff, is not there to do it. This means that if she can do anything, it's a matter of finding scraps here and there, maybe charity shops, that kind of thing, to be able to make her, you know, bags, gift cards, greetings cards, all of that kind of thing, bows, with the ribbons she has, or should have eventually. But yeah, what can you do? And yes, so she can't do any of that right now. Bit of a pain. We'll have to wait now until potentially beginning of June. So let's just hope for the best. So you know, let's pray, let's trust. Hopefully they'll get that soon. Now, other than that, let's see, where are we? So, oh yes, gardening obviously being my big thing. All of my stuff is in shipment, so there's nothing I can really do much of. The thing was, I wasn't expecting to be here past the middle of March, because that's when the buyers were supposed to be moving in, as they were so adamant about. Yeah, so if I knew that they were going to last until the end of April, or longer, who knows, I would have actually started doing something from seed, because by now I'd have had tomato seeds, which would have grown now to probably about that, not far from being ready to be planted out, you know, cucumbers and whatnot. So yeah, so as you can probably tell, it's a bit boring. All I've really got now is just the perennials in the garden. I've got my roses, I've got the, I was going to say Acer, but of course the Acer's not there, because we gave them to my parents. And if you haven't seen already, there's a video that I made of Mum's garden, and it shows the back and the front of the house, and it is absolutely gorgeous, very pretty, very beautiful. Please do watch that, because it really is worth it. And if you haven't seen them already, my mum's at the start of the video and in the middle, and my dad pops up right at the end. So as per normal, he has to get in there somewhere, and glad he did, because it meant I have a cup of coffee. Yes, so in the garden, yes, so we've got the roses, we've got the fuchsias now starting to come through. The lilac tree is now coming out, it's almost out properly. Calla lily, it's got its first flower on it now. So all of these things are adding up, and there's a bit of colour, and especially though the big colour is pink, the bleeding heart is growing really quickly. And one surprise thing, the kohlrabi, which I left in there thinking, well, we'll see what happens, have a few leaves, which I did. It's now grown to about 3.5 times the size of what it was. It is absolutely massive now, and just like the broccoli, which I left to go to flower, it's got loads of yellow flowers all over it. So right now the bees are loving it. So I'm leaving it there, let the bees make the most of it, and then eventually once it all dies off, all the flowers are gone, I'll just remove it, and the bed will be pretty much empty. Although, strangely enough, I've got about 10 sunflowers which have self-seeded from the ones we had there last year. They're all growing, so they're sort of a mix between a few millimetres high and around about 8 to 10 centimetres, I would say, about 3 inches roughly. And some of them were even growing in between the slate stones. Even though there's just slate stones and then plastic underneath it, other than maybe a bit of dirt that the dogs had dug up from the raised beds. Yeah, so I had to take them out and move them onto the raised bed as well. So hopefully they'll survive, being in a different environment, and I'll just have to make sure I water them really well. Yeah, I gave in though eventually, and I've started doing 3 different types of indoor tomatoes. So they're little short ones, so they probably grow about that big roughly, or hopefully, and some runner beans as well, and some marigolds. Now obviously the runner beans I'm not going to plant here. If they grow, I'll give them to my mum to grow in her garden, and I don't expect the tomatoes to be ready by the time I move, unless this sale falls through, which I really hope it doesn't, because otherwise we've got another 4 months or so until we can move again. Yeah, so hopefully my marigolds will grow, and that'll look nice at least. But what else is going on? Well, the house is pretty much empty apart from some boxes which are things going to charity. Everything was moved out because obviously we had a car at that stage. I don't drive, Sandy did, or Sandy does. So we drove everything over, emptied it all out at my parents' house. We gave stuff away, sold things off, and obviously we expected then things to go smoothly. I sold off my bike as well, not just because of the move, but also our insurance on the bike, which normally be about £200 for the last 3 years, jumped up to 600 with no reason whatsoever, no claims or anything. And so obviously we sold the bike off, and now it means that for all of this time now, for the last 3 weeks, I've had no transportation other than my feet. So all of my shopping is done by foot, just carrying home a load of shopping in my hands, doing it for 2.5, 3 miles each way. Is, yeah, not much fun, but you realise really how much you rely on cars and bikes to get around when you don't have them. You really do. Yes, so houses full of charity items which I've got to get rid of, free cycling them, eBaying them even. Yeah, really, I don't think there's much more to update you on. Yes, other than that, yeah, the stuff's just to go to charity. I've been selling stuff on eBay, and talking of that, I'm doing that on the laptop, and that's all I have here for entertainment as well. Basically, the TV's at my parents' house, so we have no big TV at the front here. So what I'm looking at now to see you is about as far distance as I can watch a movie on my laptop. So yeah, I'm glad to say that I've got lots of movies to watch, and I can still watch BBC on the laptop thanks to iPlayer. So yeah, so that's something, and I have my Wi-Fi obviously still, so I can use the internet. But yeah, not much more than that really in the house. I'm making food on a day-by-day basis for one person at a time, which is the strangest thing, because on a couple of occasions already I've been making food for 2, not thinking about it, it's just in my head, I've got to make it for 2. So it's really odd, but that's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm having to eat food 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 times that same food in a week. So yeah, got to freeze stuff probably. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'll provide further updates when I have them. I've got a marigold seed saving video I did last year. I'm going to bring that out shortly. Yeah, I'll see what else I can do with my camera on mini tripod. That's all I have. Yeah, so look out for some stuff. And talking of that, I just want to say I really do appreciate your support during this time, and that you're watching the videos, that you're making comments, and I really do hope you do enjoy them, and that you'll share them with friends. Ask them to subscribe as well. We're up to 85 subscribers now. I've just had my brother join as well, so he's now using the YouTube videos, which is great. Yeah, 85 videos, so he's got the last one, so hopefully he'll share that around. He's got a big friend base, so let's see how the viewers go. So hopefully good. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, so I think we'll leave it there. And with that, I'll wish you a good day. Hope you have a great week, and until then, God bless and goodbye. Bye-bye.